A girl found a mysterious watch. She accidentally pressed the button on its side, and the next second, she woke up in a high school classroom from 15 years ago. She didn't care that class was still in session. She immediately ran toward the sports field. When she saw that familiar figure, she couldn't help but call out his name. Then, ignoring everyone's stares, she rushed over and threw herself into Sunji's arms. Insu felt the warmth of his embrace. No matter how hard Sunjae tried to break free, he couldn't. Before Insu traveled back in time, Sunjae, who had become a top celebrity, had taken his own life. So when she returned to 2008, she went to find him right away.
사랑해, 선재야.
출입금지 써붙은 거 못 봤어? 끌고 나가자고!
왜요? 코멘트 좀 붙어있자!
At this moment, Insu was still wondering why she hadn't woken up from this dream yet. She found the watch in her pocket, the one that had brought her here. Thinking about this, Insu assumed she must have died too. The bridge in the distance reminded her of the bridge to the afterlife. Sunjae saw Insu crouching by the bridge. He gave her a nudge. The watch fell to the ground. Insu saw Sunjae again. She was now certain she was dead. Sunjae tried to return the watch, but Insu didn't want it back. She said it belonged to him anyway. Sunjae turned to leave. Insu desperately tried to stop him, but she couldn't. So she hugged him from behind and said, "Let's stay alive together." Freaked out, Sunjae hailed a taxi and took off. Insu stood there in shock. Then her mother called, yelling at her for skipping class. Insu arrived at her front door. The decorations looked exactly like they did in 2008. She thought her mother had just redecorated, but when she stepped inside, she found her mother looking so much younger. Her mother was still angry about Insu skipping class, but Insu's attention was fixed on the calendar. Finally, Insu realized she was now living 15 years in the past. The next day, she finally understood that none of this was a dream. Insu headed to school. As soon as she arrived at the gate, she saw Sunjae waiting to return the watch. At that moment, it started to rain. Sunjae from 15 years ago, just like Sunjae from 15 years later, held an umbrella over her.